and I'm a Senior Manager of Software Development for Amazon Web Services. I think as most of you are familiar, Amazon Web Services is the largest public cloud provider. And I wanted to take this time to answer as much questions I can. So first thing is that if you are looking for a job for Amazon Web Services, I'm posting the link in the chat session. You can go to this link and you can search for the jobs which match your expertise and your interest. And then you can directly apply to those jobs. We also have a landing page for the conference, and you can apply for the jobs on those landing page as well. So I've been with Amazon Web Services for 8.5 years, and I love being here and the things which AWS is doing for our customers, especially after the COVID-19 when everyone has been working from home. It has been a really exciting time for us because if you look at many of the companies which are providing services for video conferencing and remote work, companies like Zoom, or in the entertainment industry like Netflix, many of these platforms are running on Amazon Web Services. So please post your questions in the questions tab, and I will try to answer as many questions as I can in the next few minutes. So yes, we do have role for fresh graduates, and we are hiring people at all levels, and we hire lots of fresh graduates every year. The SE role in Elastic Load Balancer is for all levels. So we are looking for people with entry-level experience up to senior engineers. I'm not planning to attend GHC this year, but obviously Amazon Web Services and people from my team will be attending. Okay, so the hiring process for a software engineer and how to prepare for that. So typically what happens for a software development engineer position is that we will have a phone screen first. And in the phone screen, you will be asked a few coding questions. And the goal of that phone screen is to assess your suitability for the software engineer role and determine basic qualifications. For many positions, you will get an online assessment as well, where you will actually have to write code on our recruiting platform, and it will be assessed. And if you pass that assessment, then you will be invited for a loop. Now, these days, we are doing all virtual interviews. And typically, when we are doing interviews for software development manager positions, we will look at two different areas. The first area is called functional competencies. And the functional competencies for software development engineer is one is coding. And in the coding, we will look at few different areas. We will look at problem solving. We will look at coding, data structures and algorithms. And we will look at coding if your coding is structured and maintainable. And then we will also be assessing applicants for suitability with Amazon leadership principles. So if you go and Google Amazon leadership principles, you will see a list of things which we really think are important for us to be successful as an organization for our customers. And we will be asking you questions to determine if you will be a good fit based on the Amazon leadership principles. Okay, I have another question. What are some usual questions you ask in phone calls? I think typically what I try to do is that I try to ask questions which will be related to your past experience. So for example, I might ask, can you think of a time where you had to make a tough decision to get something delivered on time? And typically what we are trying to assess is that what is your past experience? How did you act in a particular situation? And is that something which we expect an Amazonian to do? What I recommend to people is that when you are answering a question, keep the situation, behavior, impact framework in mind. So if somebody is asking you a question about, did you do this and that in that particular situation, describe the situation, describe what you did, and describe what was the impact or the outcome. Don't give a generic answer that, oh, I tend to do this thing. If there is a specific question, we are expecting a specific answer. So the question is that I'm interested in business analytics roles. My team is personally not hiring for business analytics role. I'm going to post the link to the Amazon Web Services jobs again here, and I would encourage you to go there and search for the relevant role for your expertise. So can you tell a little bit more about the interview for machine learning related research and data scientist roles? So I cannot talk authoritatively about this specific role because this is not something which my team hires for. But typically, the process for each position will be the same. It will be the evaluation of the functional competencies. So they'll be asking you questions related to machine learning and the data science for that particular role. And then they will be asking questions related to the Amazon leadership principles to assess suitability for Amazon leadership principles. So if you have not received an answer from the recruiter, you should reach out to the recruiter because we have a SLA to reach back to every candidate, and we monitor that, and we do get back to every candidate after the assessment. So what is the hiring process like for the full-time position during COVID? I think the biggest change during COVID is that we are not doing in-person interviews. We are doing all virtual interviews. And for the virtual interviews, we use our own video conferencing platform that is called Chime. Sure. If somebody wants to connect me with LinkedIn, please search for my name in LinkedIn and I'll be happy to connect. So how does the referral process works at Amazon? So the referral process is that if someone who works at Amazon and they know you and they think that you are suitable for a particular position, they can refer you to a particular position using our internal tools. So this is how the referral process works. But right now, I can tell you this thing that there is a lot of shortage of talent in the industry, and if your resume matches the job requirement and you have the relevant expertise, you will hear back from the hiring manager very quickly. So I'm not familiar with what is the plan for GHC. There's a separate team working for that, and I think they have been posting jobs at GHC and they have been shortlisting candidates and arranging interviews. So you should get hooked into that process. What is the challenge to apply for contractor opportunities for AWS? So one of the unique things about Amazon and AWS is that we will have very few contractor opportunities. Typically, we believe in being an owner, and part and parcel of being an owner is being a full-time employee. So I would say that the vast majority of the jobs at AWS are full-time positions, and this is something unique about Amazon. So somebody asking me the job description said 2 years of non-internship experience. I think that is something which is nice to have. But even if you're a fresh graduate and you have the expertise for that position, you can go ahead and apply. and we will assess the resume based on what you have done, based on your coursework or any projects you have done. But I would suggest that you highlight the projects you have done on your own and also the internship experience. If you have a Git repository and you have been writing a lot of code, that typically gets the hiring managers very excited, because we can go and look at the code you have written already, and that speaks for itself. Does AWS hire for data scientists as well? Yes, we do. I posted the link for where you can search for all the jobs for AWS. I posted it again. Please search for the data scientist position, and you can apply directly to the position. I am an ambassador for AWS services at my university. Does that help in my recruiting process? I'm not sure about that, because typically when you are in the interview process, all applicants will be going through the same process. Okay, I think we are at time. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking time. I think this is a great conference, and thumbs up to the organizers.